Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting, incredible, amazing, stupendous Real Film Nerds Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Matt Hinshaw. You can follow me everywhere at Hinshaw Photo or at Real Film Nerds, everywhere, because I run both the social medias when I feel like it. With me, as always, my good buddy, my brother from the East Coast, Mysterious Mike.
Hey, everyone.
So, Mike, do you know that I prayed every night that he would escape?
Why the hell did you do that?
So I can kill him. All right. So for those of you who did not recognize that quote, it is in the trailer. Today, Mysterious Mike and I will be discussing the 2018 version of Halloween, and we're also going to throw in some little bit of the 1978 version of Halloween, because we both watched both of them this week. The original one before we went and saw the new one in the theaters, so we'll just, try and play it by ear and not get too crazy, but let's try and do reels for both of them. How does that sound, Mike?
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right, so while we're at it, let's just, we're mostly talking about the 2018 one because this is not a legacy cast. This is a regular cast. So, Mike, go ahead, give us the rundown of Halloween 2018.
All right, Halloween 2018 was directed by David Gordon Green, written by David Gordon Green, Danny McBride, Jeff Fredley, based on John Carpenter's characters and Deborah Hill characters. It's starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Judy Greer, Andy Matichik. I probably screwed that up.
Yeah, no, that sounds right. It looks like it's like Matayachak or something.
Yeah, James Jude Court. And this movie is once again about Laurie Strode comes to her final confrontation with Michael Myers, the masked figure who has haunted her since she narrowly escaped his killing spree on Halloween night 4 decades ago.
But is it really going to be her final confrontation with Michael Myers? Oh, spoiler alert. No.
Oh, come on. It won't be.
Yeah, dude, they're going to make sequels for this. I mean, this is almost kind of a reboot of the original, and they're like, here's Michael Myers for the year 2018 and on.
Yeah, it made a bunch of money. Looks like they're estimating it made $77.5 million, which is almost as good as Venom. So
now, that is just, I was looking at the numbers too, that is just the U.S., for the worldwide opening weekend, they've made 92.
Yeah, so that's they knocked it out of the park. I mean, this movie, I think its production was like 10 million or maybe even less. It was pretty cheap to make this movie, of course. Horror movies usually are.
Yeah, they've made a pile of cash already. So, all right, well, I am going to go first. I did not think this movie was anything special. I know you're going to argue with me about that because we already discussed it a little bit, but I enjoyed it, but I still like the original Halloween from 78 better. I felt it was scarier. I thought that this one was more of a modern day slasher than it was a horror film. It was scary, it had elements that were scary, but for the most part, I would say it's not a horror movie. It's more of a slasher to me. I don't know. I'm trying to allude about it and not like ruin anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I do think people should probably go see this in the theaters, especially if they're a fan of Halloween series and if they're a fan of Michael Myers. I definitely think it's well worth a watch in the theaters. But again, I don't want to be a crotchety old bastard, but I still think I enjoyed the 78 more. I thought it was scary.
I really liked it. like you had said earlier, I watched the first one, the 1978 version of Halloween, and then I watched this movie almost back to back. Watched it in the morning and then went and watched the movie in the afternoon at the theater, the newest one, the 2018.
Yeah, mine, I waited a day or two to watch the original, so I didn't have quite the effect that you did, but I did get to watch it, so, and that was nice.
Yeah, and I like this movie. I think the reason that I really like this movie was it was interesting to see how they were going to do Laurie Strode's character, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, as kind of this victim, and kind of how she's been all these years, and pretty much she's that day that happened in 1978, which is supposed to be in real time, so basically 40 years ago, had ruined her life and has affected every decision that she's made since. And you can see how it's made her family relationship very rocky, and how she went pretty crazy doing some things to prepare for maybe another coming of Michael Myers. And I liked that aspect. I liked some of the throwback even shots that were done in this movie to the original. It wasn't too like copying, like it was kind of just like a it was just enough. It wasn't too much. The thing in this movie that I thought was a little strange was the absolute gore violence that they had in there. I'm like, whoa.
Right. That's what I was saying. It's not really a scary horror movie. It's more of a slasher. It's like just full on just murderizing people.
Well, I thought they did a pretty good job at keeping some of the same kind of first-personery shots. Well, not first person, but like, you know, where he's in the like left or the right corner and you can kind of see over his shoulder. I like that because that was a lot like the first one.
Well, and that's one of the things I really enjoyed from the first one was the more first-person view, the more of this creepy dude just sinisterly watching these other people. And I honestly felt like there wasn't enough of that in the new one.
Yeah, I think they had some of it, but you're right. Sometimes it seemed to go pretty quick to the murdering and the slashing, I guess, for some of the characters.
Well, and the other thing about the murdering and the slashing, where I was going to probably get into this in the spoilery part, but I'll get into it a little bit here. It felt like a lot of the murders had no motivation behind them. They were just, oh, okay, let's kill this person. Oh, look, there's another person. Let's kill that person. Now, the original 1978 did have a little bit of that, but for the most part, it really felt like Michael Myers had a motivation, had a reason why he was trying to kill these particular people. Now, you do get that in this one as well, but really not till he starts hunting down Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis's character.
Yeah, I guess I wonder about well, I don't want to give away anything too much, but Matt, did you enjoy the part with the podcasters? I mean, we're podcasters.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, that was quite interesting, especially them. I think that was like, I'll say again, I'm going to try not to spoil it because we're not at that point quite yet. The first half of this movie I enjoyed. The second half I enjoyed, but not like the first half. I enjoyed the podcasters. I enjoyed what they were trying to do. I don't know if I agreed with them being podcasters because typically a podcaster, unless they are nationally known, probably would not get access to something like that. Dead serious. They would not. I mean, I worked for the newspaper here, and I had a very difficult time just even getting into our county jail to take pictures of an empty jail cell talking about how they were closing one of the jails. I mean, I had a difficult time doing that, and this is a hardcore, high-security mental institution, and they're allowed to walk right up to the guy?
Yeah, I guess I guess you have to do a little bit of I believe, a little bit of
Yeah.
Hollywood stuff there. But you're right.
But I loved that part. I thought that part was so smart. It was great. And the reason why I'm opening it up a little bit is because you see that in the trailer.
Okay.
So,
all right.
All right. Well, Mike, do you want to get into it so we can spoil it? Because it's a difficult time talking about a Halloween movie without spoiling it. Let's just do this. Mike, do you think people should go see Halloween in the theaters?
Yes, I think if you like the 1978 version, I think you would like this version. I feel like it's a better story than the last 5 or so Halloween movies, and it's kind of cool to see that continuation. I know it's been 40 years. It's hard to believe that like a geriatric Michael Myers is going to go take out everyone. But it was good. I liked it.
Well, and especially since the geriatric Michael Myers clearly isn't that geriatric. He's pretty much a badass in this film, and that really helps add to it. But again, remember, it's a horror movie, so if we go with the horror movie tropes, he's going to basically almost be at the level of, say, a superhero or a supervillain or whatever. He's going to have a hell of a lot more strength than a normal person ever would, and that's just a horror trope. So,
yeah, I did like how he was able to be hurt.
He was hurt in the original, and he was shot 6 times, but he still got up and disappeared. Oh, spoiler on the original. But if you haven't seen the original by now, I mean, shit, that was before either of us were born. So,
yeah, I mean, like we said, it's been 40 years.
Yeah. But I agree with you, Mike. I think people should go see it in the theaters. If you're not into horror movies, if you're not into Michael Myers, I'd say it's not worth your time because you probably won't get a whole lot of it. It's not groundbreaking in any real shape. I mean, it's fun, it's fascinating, it's entertaining, but I had problems with it, and we'll get into those in the spoiler area. But overall, if you like horror movies, yeah, it's well worth the price of admission.
Yeah. I think if you like the Halloween franchise or Michael Myers and that stuff, you'll like this movie, and you should see it in theaters. If you like horror movies, you'll probably like this, and even if you've never seen it. But yeah, if you don't like horror movies or stuff, I guess you should stay home.
Yeah, you'll definitely enjoy it if it's entertaining. Like Mike and I always talk about, I'm not a huge horror movie buff. I don't hate horror movies. I do enjoy them, but I'm not a super huge fan. And if I wasn't doing this podcast, I still would have gone and watched it because how can you not? It's Michael Myers, and Jamie Lee Curtis is back. Like you, the biggest draw for me, I wanted to see how they were going to have Jamie Lee Curtis's character be. And I think they succeeded greatly.
Yeah. So, Matt, are you going to ask me about how this relates to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I was just going to. That's where I was going to roll into, and you got into it, so that's nice. So Mike, how does Halloween 2018 relate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Well, this one wasn't too hard. Judy Greer, who is Karen, Laura Strode's daughter in the story, is also Maggie Lang on Ant-Man.
Nice. I'm sure there's probably more references to that too, but than just her. But I know I'm pretty sure she's probably the biggest out of all of them.
Yeah, like I said, I usually just go for the first Marvel Cinematic Universe tie-in. There could be quite a few, but I usually don't have enough time to go look for them.
Oh, you have tons of time in the world. What are you talking about, Mike?
No, time is very limited for me.
All right, so with our MCU out of the way, our non-spoilery discussion out of the way, I think we'll just go and spoil the hell out of Halloween. So if you do not want to know how Michael Myers doesn't die again, go ahead and flip this guy off and take a look at our reels at the end, or read it on our website or whatever. So, Mike, I know you love this movie, so go ahead, get us started.
Okay, so I thought this movie was just really cool. Like, I guess I can see what you're saying, Matt, where the first half is really good. Because I thought they did do a good job of putting it together with the podcasters and kind of stuff. But then it starts to get a little, I don't know, like I feel like they start getting gory and stuff. I guess once Michael Myers escapes again from transfer, things get, I don't know, somewhat weird. It's kind of cool, some of the stuff, but like the gas station scene, I was just thinking about that, and I'm not sure why.
I thought the gas station scene was just ridiculous.
Yeah, like if he was normal Michael Myers, he would just grab the thing and left. Like, he wouldn't have done all that stuff.
Exactly. He would have had no point in killing everyone that worked at the gas station and then waiting and purposely hunting down the podcasters. I understand if maybe he would have been hiding around and came out and killed the podcasters like how he did at some point, maybe even at the gas station. That makes sense because they did come. He did see them. He did feel their presence, things like that at the sanitarium. But to just blatantly have them execute all these... Oh, there's 3 or 4 guys at the gas station?
Yeah.
At least? Yeah. Before he even kills the 2 podcasters?
A mechanic and the cashier, and then I think the podcaster. So I think like 4 people, I think. Maybe more. I don't know. That's how many I got. But I would have thought he would have, if he saw the podcasters, which he would have because it's Mike Myers, he would have just gone and grabbed his mask if he wanted that and
left.
Been on his way. Unless they were like blocking it, like then he'd be like, well, you gotta die. But
yeah, because he didn't have a personal vendetta against them at all. They didn't do anything other than try and talk to him.
Yeah. So I guess I could see how that was a little ridiculous. I didn't think about that at the time, but I did like some of the ways that some of the shots were set up when he's walking around and stuff. Like, I mean, Michael Myers didn't kill kids in this, and he didn't kill the baby, which was good.
It's not true. He killed kids, but he didn't kill the baby. He killed teenagers.
Well, teenagers. Different.
They're still kids.
All right. I guess so.
But yeah, it definitely, that's one thing that's actually interesting, is that it does show you that Michael Myers does have a moral code at some level, where he did not kill a defenseless infant. But again, before he kills the infant, he kills some random lady in the kitchen.
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. No.
Like,
what is the motivation for that? I don't know.
Right. I kind of understand, like, the teenagers and things like that when they're running around and hanging out with Jamie Lee Curtis's, granddaughter. But again, he was locked up in a sanitarium. He does not know what Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter looks like or Jamie Lee Curtis's granddaughter looks like. And he's clearly seeking both of them out, trying to kill them, and he has no idea what they look like. And I didn't like that. I thought that was a little bit too much of a stretch.
Man, all right, yeah, you did really rip this movie apart. I guess I was just in a good mood. I guess I was just in a good mood when I watched it. But
so was I. I enjoyed it. I saw it opening night on Thursday.
I liked some of the shots where they're following him kind of first person, and you kind of see him looking in through windows and stuff. That seemed very Michael Myers, just kind of a creeper.
Definitely.
Definitely. Like, the teenage sex thing still made it in there, which I was like, okay. Like, with the 2 characters that were kind of almost getting it on or whatever, and...
Are you talking about the babysitter?
Yeah.
Like, that was straight up a callback to the original. Like, that whole scene where he comes in and, the funny little black kid that's sitting there, freaking out, and he actually is in his closet and stuff. That whole thing was clearly a callback to the original.
Yeah, I think it was a callback. And then even, like, because there's a part where the officer finds a body and it has the sheet over it with 2 holes in it, and that's kind of like the original. He came in with the sheet and two holes.
Right.
Yeah, like I guess there's a lot of those things in there, but
yeah, there's lots of shout outs to the original, which is good. You know, it's fun. It adds to it. If you're a hardcore Halloween fan, you pick up on those things as you're watching it.
yeah. So I like that stuff, but like I did like that he was injurable, and like you saw him get injured. Like there's a part where his fingers get mutilated, and like I like that stuff kind of like you could see stuff happening to him, and like he wasn't now. I mean, he's still somewhat supernatural in his like nonstop, coming at you. For a guy who never runs, he's always there, kind of thing. But I still like that he kind of got injured and stuff. So I felt like they did a lot of things right, but there were some stuff that was kind of weird.
I can start tearing it apart. There's one scene, other than what I've already brought up before, that was the worst scene I've ever seen, especially for a Halloween movie or just such a big name movie, I guess you would say, is the scene with the two cops talking about a fucking sandwich. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You wasted 5 minutes of the movie of two characters that are inconsequential to the movie as a whole talking about a sandwich. Like, it wasn't even funny. It just was dumb.
I also thought some of the violence, like the uber violence, I don't think it was necessary. Like, I don't know. Like, there's a part where, well, I mean, I guess we're already giving away stuff. Where?
Oh yeah, dude, we've been in spoilers for a while.
Yeah,
where you been?
Where the head explodes, and you're like, whoa,
oh god, that was so dumb.
Why? What the heck, man?
Yeah, he stepped on a dude's head and it exploded like, a zit. I was like, seriously? Come on. Heads don't do that.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
No, like that scene, I was like, what?
Well, and that's one of the things about the original one versus this one, is the original, when he slaughters people, there's a bit of gore, but for the most part, it's fairly toned down and realistic. Like, when he stabs someone, they don't spray like 10 gallons of blood all over the place. It's more realistic.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that made the original great. Because it was very possible. You know what I mean? It's like, it seemed like this really could happen. This one really seems just kind of out there.
Yeah, so kind of to sidetrack you, Matt. This movie had John Carpenter to do the music again, like he did on the 1978. And what did you think of that? Like, I kind of liked it. There was like, it was...
Oh, I thought it was great. Yeah.
I thought it really went along with it well. So that was cool, and it was definitely noticeable. It wasn't just the same.
It's definitely one of the highlights of the film. I agree with that. For sure. But I don't want to backtrack, but I'm going to backtrack a little bit because I didn't want to interrupt you. But the first half of the film I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed them being at the sanitarium. I enjoyed the doctor and his explaining. It was very reminiscent of the original Doctor from 1978. I wasn't a super huge fan of the twist with him where he's like, he decides to randomly kill someone. I figured they would have done something where he would have been, oh, well, I helped Michael Myers escape and flip the bus and all that stuff. And I thought they were going to go something more than that route. Then he just decided he wanted to see what it feels like to kill someone. But whatever. It was an interesting little side story bit in this film. But basically, I think the film up to the point of the gas station where he just kills random people was my favorite part of the film. I liked seeing Jamie Lee Curtis being this frantic, crazy lady who's training how to shoot guns, who you see her daughter getting taken away from her, stuff like that. You see her in her house. You see her talking with the podcasters. I really liked a lot of that character development. I thought it was great. I know some people will probably say it was bad and it's going to slow down the film and all that stuff, and why not get to the killing? I think it was very pivotal to build up what happened to Jamie Lee Curtis's character, because if you throw all the other movies out the door and just have the original one, she's this scared, frantic teenager in the original, and now she's this ultra badass, almost character like in Terminator 2, Sarah Connor.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was just thinking that was very similar to Sarah Connor's kind of. In Terminator 1, she's this frail, waitress and, worried about life, but different. But in Terminator 2, she's like this uber, like, been practicing, martial arts and shooting and all kinds of, like, she's changed her whole life. Yeah.
It's very, very parallel to the Terminator, which I do enjoy. I like that. I think that's an interesting way. And then how the psychologist guy explains the different ways that a victim in that situation would have gone. And I thought that was very helpful for the plot and the story and character building as well. I enjoyed that. Like I said, Mike, I didn't hate this movie. There's just things that I didn't get. Like, I know this is a little nitpicky, but when she's using her firearms, she explains, which I thought was great, that she loves revolvers because revolvers never jam, which is true. You have one round, one chamber, one pull, and it flips to the next one. That's fantastic. But why the hell is she running through a tight-quartered house carrying a lever-action rifle from basically the late 1800s? That's what cowboys would use. Those frickin' things jammed a lot.
Yeah,
she wouldn't have done that.
I'm not sure.
That was a hole.
Yeah, and
so I would have been like, okay, have a submachine gun, have an AR-15. I understand why they probably didn't want to use an AR-15 because all the controversy surrounding that. But if it's truly someone like this character, that's what they would have probably had in real life, would have been an AR-15 or some other submachine gun, or hell, the shotgun. The shotgun, again, would have been fantastic because that's what shotguns are perfect for, is home defense.
Yeah.
Because you can move them around and they scatter and spread and do a lot of damage in a small area.
Yeah, and she did have the shotgun for a little bit, but then she used it once and then it was gone. So
Right. It made, again, this is just me being nitpicky because I pay attention to those things a little bit more than the average person. But I would have rather seen her with the shotgun and then be like, oh, crap, now she's out of rounds. And then she has to pick up the lever action or she has to use a revolver or something. But I'm just getting super nitpicky.
Yeah. Okay, so, Matt, how many reels do you give 2018 Halloween? And how many reels do you give 1978 Halloween?
See, I was totally going to do that. This is how scary it is, how alike we are, that I was going to roll into asking you the same question. All right, Mike. So I'm going to start out with number 2018, the sequel of Halloween. They should have just called it Halloween 2018 without just calling it Halloween. They should have just added the year to the title, but whatever. It's going to be confusing for people from here on out. But Halloween 2018, I give it 3 out of 5 reels.
Okay, solid.
I feel that it's entertaining. There's a lot to it. There's things that like I pointed out, I really enjoyed, but I still think it's probably just average. Well worth a watch, especially in the theaters if you're a horror movie buff. But if you're not, there's no point to go and see it in the theaters. You could get it on Redbox. All right, so the 1978 Halloween, the original, which I did rewatch this week, just like you, as we alluded to earlier. It's a classic. It's the introduction of Jamie Lee Curtis. I totally forgot that it was her very first big role, but I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 reels.
Wow.
It's scary. It was shot in 78, so it's not quite where it is. Jamie Lee Curtis is kind of rough on the acting, but I really liked it. And it was a fantastic origin story that is so good that 40 years later, they're still doing movies about it.
Yeah, that's 100% true, yeah.
I mean, how can you not? I mean, it's almost at the point of a 5 for me. You know, it really is, because it's rough, but I mean, it's started this whole thing, you know, and Michael Myers is one of the best horror villains, scary monster, boogeyman kind of things ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's right up there next to Jason. He's there's the trifecta, you know, you got Freddy Krueger, you got Jason, and you got Michael Myers. I mean, those three, when you say horror, those are the three names that pop in my head.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, it's totally true.
All right, Mike, so what about you? What do you give Halloween 2018?
All right, so I liked 2018 a little bit better than you. So I'm going to give 2018 3.5 reels. And I do recommend seeing it in the theater if you like horror movies or if you like the Halloween movies. And it was... I can overlook all the somewhat nitpicky things that Matt saw. I guess I can understand them, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. And all
right, so 1978. Let's hear it.
All right, so 1978. Man, that's a great movie. Michael Carpenter did it for like no budget, and so good. I mean, I love how he had to do.
You mean John Carpenter?
Oh yeah, sorry, John Carpenter. Michael
Don't
Myers.
Don't mean to be nitpicky, but you combined Michael Myers and John Carpenter together.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that's great.
yeah. John Carpenter, Michael Myers. He did such an awesome job. I love the soundtrack, and yeah. So I'm with you. I think it's 4.5 reels. It defined the slasher kind of like horror movie. I mean, it defined a whole horror generation. It was amazing. So I really like that. He has a lot of good movies that he did. I think he also did Last House on the Left before this one, and that movie's crazy too, and that was awesome. So,
well, all right, Mike, do you have anything else you want to add for our review of Halloween 2018 and Halloween 1978?
No, just thanks everybody for listening, and I hope you're enjoying all these Halloween-type movies. We've got a few more for you.
Now, what about Thursday? What's coming up on Thursday?
So we're going to review one of my favorite movies, Event Horizon. And it's a haunted house movie in space. I mean, how scary does it get? Well,
so our Halloween Horror Fest continues.
Yes. Definitely our Harvest Halloween Horror Fest.
Damn it. Did I say Halloween? I didn't say Harvest, did I?
No.
See, I did it too. It's because we've been saying Halloween for the past 35 minutes.
It's true. All right, so
Our Harvest Horror Fest episode number 4, granted not episode number 4 overall, but episode number 4 of the Harvest Horror Fest will be this Thursday, Event Horizon. All right, Mike, I'm good. Go ahead, close this out.
All right, everybody, thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now, go out and catch a movie.